Hey everyone, Chris Lopez here, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Guide to Denver Real Estate Investing Strategies book, and specifically about the 2021 edition that we'll be publishing next year. Now, hopefully, most of you are familiar with this book. If you're not, I'll give you a quick rundown. Every single year since 2019, I publish an annual Guide to Denver Real Estate Investing Strategies. It's a brand new book every single year. The first part of the book takes some foundational content that I want to share with investors in our local community to give some core messaging out there about what's going on in the market. And then the rest of the book, which is the majority of the book, are just chapters written by other investors here in Denver and now also Colorado Springs. And the whole idea with this book is a couple main bullet points. One is, obviously, I'm very big on helping people create their investing strategies. And I know from myself and helping numerous people over the years that the best way to achieve your goals and know how to execute the strategy you need to go out there and achieve your goals is to write it down. There's a big difference of just thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and also saying, here's my plan. Writing it is definitely a lot more difficult, but I think the act of writing it helps you clarify things and helps you get very, very focused on what you want to achieve. So every time I write down goals and I get specific with my strategy on to achieve my goals, I've noticed I achieve those goals more often than not. And I found the same thing for other people as well. So I like getting people to write down a strategy. The second thing is I love learning about what other people are doing. What are their goals? What are their investing strategies? What can I learn from them that I can apply to my own strategy? And that's what this book helps as well. So I share my strategy, and hopefully hundreds of other people around Colorado read it, and then I get to read 20 or 30 other people's as well, and I get to learn from them and hopefully take one or two or three nuggets and apply it to my own strategy. And the last thing is, this is just a great way to do some networking. Everyone that is published in this book has a common connection here in Denver and the Colorado Springs market. That is the key connection here as to why people are submitting chapters into this book. It's a great way to network, to meet other people, potentially do a deal, partner up on things, and just kind of see who else is doing stuff around the community. So those are the three reasons I do the book, and every year we've published the book. It's just gotten better, so I want to continue doing it every single year. All right, so now I want to give you the details and invite you on writing a chapter for the 2021 edition. So from a high level, I need the chapters by January 15th, 2021, and you'll want to email them to jen@envisionrea.com. So coming in from here, make sure you follow the show notes as well to get all these details. Otherwise, I'm going to run down as to what we're covering and what I need from you to make this another great book. So give you the deadline. Next thing is, please don't submit a chapter without reading the previous edition. So you can order this book on Amazon for like $7, or if you reach out to us, we'll send you a copy in the mail. But the best way to know, well, what's the structure? How should I write in there? There is no template. There is no structure. So read what I've written and what the other 20 investors in the last year's edition have written as well. So read it. Please give it a basic proofreading before you submit it. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be professional proofread, you're not submitting your 12th grade English paper, but please don't send in something that's sloppy that you've not looked over a couple times and made it presentable and good enough. Also, no fancy formatting. Please keep it to basic headlines, basic bullet points, bolding, and some very basic formatting. You'll see what we did here in the book. If everyone does their own fancy formatting, it makes the editing process a nightmare for our editorial team. Only submit it in Word or Google Doc. If it comes in a different format, we will tell you to submit it back in a Word or Google Doc. Now, this is a very important one. Your chapter is not a sales letter for your services, your courses, your conferences, your investments, whatever. It is not a sales letter. It is really meant to talk about your investing strategy. What are you doing? Providing good, valuable information. Now, I invite everyone to leave their contact details in there. But the way you network is providing good value. If it ends up being a sales letter, which a couple have in the last couple of years, they don't get published. It's very simple. Provide good value and share your strategy, please. That's what I want, and that's what makes this a really, really good book. There is no minimum or maximum length, so I tend to go really long on my chapter because it really helps me clarify my entire goals for the year and my long-term strategy. Plus, I look at it as my journal. I don't keep a journal. I don't do anything where I review things. Writing this chapter once a year is the main thing I actually go back and read, because every year when I go back to write my next chapter, I go back and read my previous chapters. So I write it also just for my own use 5, 10, 20 years down the road. If you are a previous contributor, please come back and write another chapter with us. But it needs to be a new chapter. Don't copy and paste your old chapter and update a few numbers. It needs to be an updating your old one or new strategies, but it needs to be brand new content. Otherwise, it's just a waste of paper to go out there and republish the exact same thing. Again, anyone can contribute as long as you have a connection here along the Front Range. That's the main thing. Now, the majority of our investors live here in the Front Range and invest in the Front Range. A few live here, invest out of state, or live out of state, invest here. But the common connection is we are investing up and down the Front Range, or we live here up and down the Front Range. So I prefer everyone to provide first name, last name, and email address, your choice on the phone number. If you want to be anonymous, my preference is to avoid it, but still, at this point, I'd rather have a chapter than not, but a first name is required, and a real first name is required. So if you want to be anonymous, not even share your real first name, don't bother writing a chapter, because this is really meant to be networking. And also, please include a short bio that is like 1 to 3 sentences with your contact details. That way, people can just at a glance say, oh yeah, I know who this person is, this person is. Again, not a sales order, just say who you are, what do you do, how can they contact you. All right, so I now went through a lot here. You can either rewind this, let's do it again, or check the show notes in the link here, and then go read the details. So please follow those instructions, and then send this over your chapter before January 15th to jen@envisionrea.com, and make sure the subject line has book submission in there. And then we will reply to you that we got your chapter. If you don't get a reply from us, please send us another email to make sure we got it. Sometimes emails get lost. Sometimes things get lost in our inbox. We want to make sure that we get your chapter. So if you're not getting a confirmation email from us, feel free to reach out. Any questions, any confusion, always email me or reach out to me. All right. Well, the last thing I'll say, I'm recording this the week before Thanksgiving. I actually meant to record this about 3 weeks ago, but that was right when we're doing the Envision rebrand. I want to give people a little bit more time to write their chapter. But since this is during COVID and everyone's either working and watching Netflix, I don't feel too bad about giving you a shorter time frame now because there's a lot less to do. So please write your chapter. Please submit it. I'm hoping this year, or I should say for the 2021 book next year, we can have a lot of submissions. We had 21 people last year. That's my main status, to actually get more than 21 investors for this next book. All right. Thank you, and I'll see you in 2021.